Hello and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction and we're diving back into To My Star 2. We're diving into episode 7. Just finished episode 6 and like, I want to be optimistic. I want to have a positive outlook and say, yes, these two lovebirds could end up back together. But like, the deeper we get into the series, the more we develop these characters, the more backstory we get, the more it's like, they just might not end up together. And that's fine. It just makes me sad because I was so happy when they were together. But we're just going to dive in, see where this episode takes us, see if this is the episode that breaks us, and just see.
네 생각 나도 많이 했어.
보고 싶기도 했어?
얘기가 하고 싶었어.
But did you miss her?
그럼 나 이제 이거 끼고 다녀도 되나? 커플 팔찌이긴 하지만 나한텐 내가 좀 더 일을 열심히 하게 해주는 그런 역할도 하거든.
내가 안 끼면 커플 팔찌 아니잖아. 괜찮지 그럼?
그치?
Could also be a friendship bracelet.
나도 동의.
내가 졌다.
Oh, baby.
앞으로 잘 지내? 잘 지내겠지만 아프지도 말고. 어차피 안 아프겠지만.
I don't know how hard that was.
네, 지금 혹시 서울까지 갈 수 있는 택시 있을까요?
지우야.
어,
나 지금 촬영 끝났어. 지금 가면 한 1시간 반?
알겠어.
네, 끊어요.
알 수 없는 죄책감에 시달렸고 혼란스러웠다.
뭐 하고 있었어?
그냥 있었어. 배는 안 고파?
괜찮아. 나 2시간 뒤에 나가봐야 돼서 좀만 자다 올게.
강서준이 잘못한 게 없다는 사실을 알게 될수록 더 혼란스러웠다.
혹시 오늘 저녁에 잠깐 집 앞에 와줄 수 있나?
무슨 일 있어?
그냥 오늘따라 좀 우울해서.
아, 미안. 오늘은 좀 더 연습해야 될 것 같은데. 다경인 바쁘대?
어때? 재밌는 거 같아? 드디어 이어지니까 속 시원하지? 나 화장실 갔다 올게.
모든 것은 그냥 내 문제였다.
오늘 밤에만 같이 있어달라는 게 그래 어렵다. 대체 요리가 뭔데? 뭔데 이렇게까지 하는 건데?
솔직히 네가 왜 이러는지 이해가 안 돼.
이해? 가족이랑 같이 살고 대학도 다니고 있고 친구도 있고 그런 애가 왜 이렇게 힘들어하는지 닌 도저히 이해가 안 되지.
무릎 괜찮아? 나 앉아서 얘기.
그래, 내도 내가 이해 안 되는데 네가 날 우회해야겠노? 누가 보면 네가 슬픈 게 더 맞고 네가 더 힘든 게 맞는데 내만 이러니까 나도 진짜 돌아버릴 것 같다고.
한 번도 겪어보지 못한 감정을 30이 다 돼서도 느낄 수 있다는 사실을 모르고 살았다.
오빠 우리 술이랑 치킨이랑 시켜놨는데 먹고 가요.
아 먹고 가요. 이제 촬영도 끝났는데.
오빠 저희 인스타 라이브 중이에요. 인사해주세요.
지금 라이브 중이래요. 생일 축하해요.
나는 혼자였고
But he was coming home to you.
강서준은 모두와 함께였다. 그 감정이 싫었다. 강서준이 없으면 나도 없어질 것 같은 혼자가 편하지 않은 그 감정이 싫었다. 도망치고 싶었다. 말도 안 되는 핑계들을 끊임없이 만들어가면서 그래야 내가 살 수 있을 것 같았다.
네 새끼가 배신할 깜냥이나 있는 새끼냐? 어?
걔 하나 때문에 우리 경찰에 넘겨? 어?
조카씨 보니까 조카씨 맞아야지. 그지?
헐, 아니 괜찮으세요?
No, you punched me.
괜찮으세요? 저 괜찮은데 계속 하시죠.
너무 심한데.
잠시만요. 물 좀 가져올게요.
에이,
야, 니네 배우 무슨 문제 있어?
네?
그 뭐 정신병
다 나왔다더만. 아니야? 지금 촬영장 분위기 흐리는 게 하루 이틀이 아니잖아. 배우 관리를 어떻게 하는 거야?
죄송합니다.
내가 지금 죄송하다는 얘기 진짜 이러는 게 아니라! 아우!
Yeah, but your screaming's not gonna help anything.
왜 소리를 지르세요, 감독님?
지금 딜레이 되는 거 안 보여? 빨리빨리 정신 차리고 촬영 준비해!
내가 감독님보단 딜레이 더 시키지 않았나?
뭐? 안 왔나?
한 회당 회차를 2배씩 딜레이 시키고
자,
그 제작비 다 어디서 나는데요?
너 이씨... 형. 야, 정원아, 네가 말해봐. 내가 딜레이 많이 시킨다고 생각하니? 어? 왜 다들 지랄이야?
그게... 재원이 어디 그런 생각할 앱니까? 저같이 싸가지 없는 놈이나 하지.
자,
감독님, 저희 다시는 보지 맙시다. 근데 이건 잘 마무리해야 되니까 마무리하고요. 오늘은 제가 있으면 안 될 것 같으니까 여기까지 하고 갈게요. 괜찮죠? 더 하시길 원해요? 그리고 감독님은 여기 탑이시잖아요. 탑, 윗사람. 앞으로 얘기하실 땐 이렇게 직접 탑과 아시다시피 탑스타 그 둘이 면전에서 얘기해주세요. 부탁드릴게요. 그리고 촬영 전에 그림도 좀 생각해 오시고요.
자, let him know. Let him know.
가자.
He said you're the one who's supposed to be in charge here. Act like it. Sometimes people need to be told.
출발할게요. 잠깐만.
네, 안녕하세요. 아시다시피 강서준입니다.
네, 잘 지내셨어요?
진짜 오랜만에 라이브 하는 것 같아요. 저는 지금 촬영 쉬는 시간이고요. 여러분들 보고 싶어서 이렇게 라이브를 켰습니다. 이거요. 이거는 놀라셨죠, 여러분? 이거는 진짜 아니고 분장.
더 이상은 스포가 될 수 있기 때문에. 다들 식사는 하셨어요?
저도 먹었죠. 저는 오늘
None of this makes my
What?
heart happy.
잠깐 나올래? 너 우리 고등학교 때 생각나? 그때 우리 무슨 100일 넘게 사귀고 나서야 손잡았나? 그랬는데.
Shall we count the days?
앞에 말해.
알았다.
Stop it.
오랜만에 밖에 나오니까 너무 좋다, 지금.
Why does he do it? I don't know. Seems like a protection thing. Protecting the person he cares about. Is this why y'all hated her? Because she's getting this attention from him?
형. 아이고
어제 또 술 처마셨구나?
근데 허락 없이 들어오지 말랬지.
그럼 전화를 받든가. 폰은 소품이야? 아니 왜 전화를 안 받아?
왜? 나 오늘 촬영 없잖아.
오늘? 그게 문제야. 지금 영원히 없어지게 생겼는데? 형 죽었어. 형이 죽었다고 갑자기 그 깡패 새끼들한테. 저기 죄송한데 선생님, 아직 술이 덜 깨서 감이 안 오세요? 주인공 잘렸다고. 김 감독이 개자식이. 괜찮아? 아니 형. 형 괜찮아?
형 괜찮아요? 형.
너 왜 이렇게 떨어? 괜찮아.
저 때문이에요.
어?
현장에서 저 때문에 형이랑 감독님이랑 싸웠는데
괜찮아. 너 때문에 아니야. 정신 차려. 너까지 이러면 안 돼. 네가 지금 서준이 형 지켜야지. 매니저잖아, 그치? 그래, 괜찮아. 형 괜찮아? 양 선생님께 지금 전화 드려서 오시라고 할까?
나 괜찮아. 너네 다 가. 내가 알아서 할게.
I don't like it here.
물 떨어진다. 아유, 홍수마이 안 되지 벌써.
안녕하세요. 장비원 인사하세요. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
한치윤 아직 안 왔어. 참, 주인공 맞네. 주인공 맞아 아주.
대충 모인 것 같습니다. 다천 마을이 곧 TV를 탈 거기 때문에 일단 한번 다 같이 모여서 보자는 의견이 있으십니다. 아시겠지만 한때 당한 것도 있고 반대를 했는데 우리 그 톱스타 강서준이가 미리 문제가 있나 없나 볼 수 있도록 방송국에다가 얘기를 했습니다. 그래서 이렇게 오늘 볼 수 있는 것이고요. 그럼 한번 틀어보겠습니다.
아직 지우가 안 왔는데요.
틀겠습니다.
아니 이장님 지우가 안 왔다니까요.
No, they don't care about him.
제가 지우한테 오라고 말했는데 아직 안 와가지고 조금만 기다려줄 수 있으시면.
내가 오지 마라 했다.
왜요?
괜히 우리가 보고 불편한 것들 얘기하면 선한 얘기 안 나오겠나? 지 부모 욕하는데 자가 여기 있으면 되겠나? 그래 내 배려한 기다.
아니
Or maybe just don't talk about his parents.
한번 물어보입시다.
I mean, I'm assuming
뭐가 그렇게 아직도 하나 있는데요?
they're dead, so why don't you just
그때 그
let
사기
them
사건
rest?
때문에요? 그래서 애한테 아직도 그렇게 대하는 거예요?
그들은 그때 어려서 잘 모른다. 이 마을에 당한 사람이 어디 한두 명이가? 돈은 또 얼마고?
아니 그건 이미 판결까지 다 난 사건인데 아직까지
And that's
이러지면.
사기꾼 놈 그거 데리고 온 거 누구? 한시아이가?
내가 지금도 그때 생각하면 씨가 다 떨리는데 아니 저거끼리 짱구 치는지 어떻게 아노?
내 자세히는 몰라도 여기 빚 갚아준다고 지우 부모님이 돌아가시기 직전까지도 고생하셨다 카던데요. 그러고 싶습니까 진짜?
And he had nothing to do
열심히
with it.
살고 있는 나한테 대체 저한테 무슨 억하 심정이 있어갖고 자꾸 이럽니까? 에? 어른이라고 다 어른이가 뭐
Nope.
다들 자기 상처만 제일 크지 남 상처는 보이지도 않고 책임은 뭐
Again,
아무나
sometimes you
지는
gotta let
자니까.
old people know because they're stuck in their own head canon.
어린 만큼 우리도 각자 지가 지는 무게에 안 그래도 버겁게 살고 있어요.
다경아.
I mean, she's speaking facts.
내가 미안하다. 괜히 오라고 꼬시는 게 아니었는데 괜히 서울에서 우연히 만나갖고 여건이 괜히 안 들어도 대화 듣게 하고 내가 미안하다 진짜.
너랑 유아 덕분에 지금까지 버텼는데 무슨 소리야. 나 괜찮아. 걱정 마. 울지 마.
He hate it here.
사랑해요, 형.
저도 사랑해.
I love y'all too. I just hate it here.
오늘 빚고만 가자. 알았다. 앉아봐. 내일 아침에 금방 나가야 되는데 뭐 TV를 켜고 있노?
시골 식당이다.
아 맞네. 오늘 저녁에 하겠네.
본격적으로 소개를 시켜드릴 식당이 젊은 셰프가 시골에서 혼자 운영 중인 이태리 식당인데
막힘이 없네. 선수네, 선수.
호시만 보면 아주 수준급인데요, 이거. 우리 강서준 씨랑 뭐 친분이 있으시다고 들었는데요.
제 브이로그에 잠깐 출연하셨던 분이죠.
그때 정말 둘이 케미 정말 좋으셨잖아요.
케미가 정말 좋았죠.
안녕하세요. 오랜만이네요.
이 한식에 익숙한 시골 마을에 어울리는 음식은 아니지.
이탈리아 요리점이라는 정체성을 지키고 싶었습니다. 메뉴도 죄다 어렵고 퓨전 양식 해볼 생각은 없어요? 고집을 좀 버려보시는 게 아니면 여기 장사 좋고 호텔로 가시든가.
아이, 강서준 씨 세네.
재밌긴 했다마 그래 다행인가?
어차피 시골 식당 솔루션 회차 또 찍어야 되니까 그거 형도 나가서 찍고 하면 드라마 합작권도 붙이지 않을까요?
여보세요? 오랜만이야 자기.
미안해.
아이 자기 또 뭐가?
곧 기사 날 거야. 내 산에서 막아보고 싶었는데 안 되네.
네, TV에
TV에 됩니다.
저희는 지금 당장 말씀드릴 수 있는 게 없어요.
아니요. 저희도 확인을 해봐야 되는 것 같아요.
But don't go blaming yourself. Of course, that's why we're gonna pause the fucking episode. Jesus. Y'all, I don't know why this series is trying to attack my feelings so aggressively, but it's like there are probably like 4 or 5 points throughout that episode that I was just on the verge. Didn't quite get pushed to the point of, you know, crying, breaking tears, but just on the verge because it's like, God, why? So the first time it happened was in the first couple minutes of the episode after you got done talking with ex-girlfriend lady and was walking back home, and Sejun just walked out and was like, I give up. And I'm like it just hurts. It hurts. But like I said in my reactions last episode, I felt like the combination of the conversation that he and Jiwoo had in the restaurant at the beginning of episode 6 and him overhearing the conversation that Jiwoo and ex-girlfriend were having at the end of episode 6 were enough of a 1-2 punch to the gut to finally make Sejun realize that it's not gonna happen. Now, do I want that to be the case? No. Do I want it to happen between the two of them? Absolutely, I want them to work. But like, those 2 conversations alone were probably enough to like give him a reality check. Like, I'm fighting a losing battle here, and I keep trying, and he keeps pushing me away for whatever reasons, and I just it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So to see him finally just reach that point of I give up, when this whole time he's been so optimistic, he's been so dead set on, okay, I'm gonna win this man's heart back, I'm gonna get him. It's heartbreaking, but it's real and it's a necessary. Anyone who's ever had feelings or been in love with someone who did not love them back or did not want to be with them for whatever their reasons were, it's just one of those moments that no matter how many people you talk to, no matter how much your friends reassure you of things or how much advice you get, blah blah blah, it's just one of those moments you have to reach on your own. And once you reach that moment, then you'll be able to finally move forward from that relationship. So it's that final stepping stone of like, okay, this is not going to happen. This is not meant for me. This is not meant for us. I'm taking my life and I'm moving forward. I don't like this decision, but it is what needs to happen. So to see him finally reach that point, it's like the final little nail in the coffin on the relationship. Like, he's finally giving up, and unless some witchcraft happens to Jiwoo, I don't foresee him like running across town to express his feelings and all of a sudden like take me back, blah 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 blah. I don't foresee that in his character. We haven't seen it yet, so who knows, things could change, but that just doesn't seem to be in his character makeup. So without Sejun being the aggressor trying to make this relationship happen, I don't see this relationship happening, and it's like, it's sad. So that almost broke me. That made me want to cry. And then the flashbacks had me a little confused as to the timeline. I want to say the say the flashbacks that they were showing with Jiwoo and his ex-girlfriend were happening like leading up to their breakup, but the way they had it spliced in between the timeline of Jiwoo and Sejun being together, and you know, all the other little flashbacks we saw last episode of the birthday party and the phone call, oh, I'll be home in an hour, I just finished recording, blah blah blah. So having those scenes with him and the ex-girlfriend cut in between those made me think that he was spending that time when he wasn't with Sejun. He was spending that time with her, but then I'm like, I don't know if that's the case. So I'm thinking that was just, we flashed back to him and Sejun and their relationship when he was starting to have doubts, and then in the midst of that flashback, we flash back even further to when his relationship was devolving with the ex-girlfriend. That's what I think it's supposed to be. But either way, I'm wondering, like, I've been swirling some ideas in my head about Jiwoo, but I've just been silently watching, and I think I'm gonna just silently watch for like another episode and place things. But like, I'm wondering if it's not just an introvert not being, being afraid of confrontation type of personality trait. I'm wondering if it's something else in him, because there's certain times when he's interacting with just other people where I feel like he may not understand certain social cues, or he understands them, but at the same time, like, he understands they exist, but it doesn't register to him. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know. Like, when he was talking to her and she's like, oh, I'm depressed, can you come hang over? And it's like, oh, well, I really think I should practice cooking more. If that was a time when they were dating, that feels like a huge like hint from my partner. Hey, I'm depressed, can you come over? Basically saying, hey, I need company, can you please just be here for me? And he's like, I think I should practice my cooking some more. One plus one is not adding up to 2 in that scenario, and I'm like, to me it feels like a fairly obvious, dude, what? But to him it didn't seem as though that was the case. It didn't seem as though to him it was this life or death choice that he was making. He was just like, okay, well, I think I should just practice my cooking. And then she's like, why would you choose cooking over blah blah blah? It's like, I don't understand why you're being like this. And I don't know if that him saying I don't understand why you're being like this is just him like, just, oh, I don't get why you're making such a big deal out of something, or if it's, I literally don't understand why you're being like this. Like, there's just little things like that have happened throughout this series specifically. And, I could see little traces of it in the first season, which just speaks to the writing of this season and how well they're tying the character traits. Because I don't know if they made the first season with the intent of making a second season. I feel like the second season was just such a success that they're like, okay, let's continue this. But who knows? They may have gone into it with the thought of making a second season. But either way, the writing in this, being able to take some of those character traits that were present in the first season and just flesh them out even more in a believable way, without it being like, okay, we're just gonna give these characters flaws, or we're just gonna randomly give him these character traits out of nowhere that just seem like, no, these character traits were present in him all throughout the first season and throughout here. And it's just like, the more time we spend developing him and developing these past relationships, it's like, I'm wondering if there's just something cognitively up there that just is not putting together some of these social cues that may come more naturally to the rest of us. I don't know. I could just be completely making something out of nothing, but it just feels like there's a disconnect in how he's processing his actions versus how other people are receiving the actions. I don't know. To keep watching and just see where things go. But yeah, I'm curious. But yeah, that bit of flashback that was happening there, it gave, it fleshed out a lot more of his feelings and why he left the way he did. He just felt like he wanted to run away. He felt, we already got last episode, he felt alone. Even when he was with Sejun, he just felt alone. And we were seeing more and more development in those flashbacks. Like when they were reading the script together, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And then, he picks up Sejun's phone and he got all the texts from the people. Hey, aren't you gonna come? Aren't you gonna come? We need our protagonist, blah, 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 blah. And, feeling like, almost like he doesn't fit in Sejun's world in a sense, or like he's holding Sejun back from things that are already in his world. And it's just such an interesting way to take this story. Yeah, like I keep saying throughout the episode, I hate it here, but like I'm saying that with the most love in the world, because like it's been written so well. The script's been written so well, the acting is so good, and it's just such a thought-provoking addition to the first season. The first season was just so sweet, and like, yeah, there were some parts that, maybe a little bit more serious or some discussion points, but for the most part it was just sweet, and we built this love, and like this is just so interesting and thought-provoking. And it's like, there's, even when you think that someone is in the wrong, 2 episodes later we get a flashback or something, and it's like, okay, they're still not in the right, but I don't know that I can necessarily say that they're wrong. I understand why they did what they did. Do I agree with what they did? But it's like, they're humans. They're all just humans. Yeah, so well written. And then, like I was saying in the actual episode, when it came to the director and also the like elders in the village, I know in a lot of countries we're taught to respect our elders, and our elders are knowledgeable, and they know everything, and we're not supposed to talk back. We're supposed to be seen and not heard. Blah 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 blah. But sometimes you just gotta tell somebody about themselves. Because yes, they may be elders, they may have lived more life than I've lived and whatnot, but that doesn't stop them from being wrong. That doesn't stop them from acting like children sometimes. That doesn't stop them from letting power go to their head in the director's case, or it does. I don't care how much older you are. If you're gonna act like a child, you're acting like a damn child, and you need to be told about yourself. So yes. That was very much the case when it came to the director, and I was very happy that Sejun did that. Unfortunately, it seems to have cost him his job, but that's just more proof as to how immature that director is. The fact that he can't handle being critiqued. He's of the mindset that I am the boss here, so I am always right. And he cannot handle. Okay, I don't know when my. I just realized I haven't been looking at my OBS screen, so I just realized that my camera, I guess, got disconnected or something. I don't know. So I don't know how long into my rant here it got disconnected. At least after I finished recording. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I don't know how long into my rant it got disconnected, I just looked up and saw that I was in here moving and my screen wasn't. It was just sitting there frozen at me looking in a corner. I'm like, oh, well, that's fun. But anyway, yeah, that just further proves, at least to me, how immature that director is. The fact that he can't accept critique. He can't have a conversation like an adult, and any sort of critique or criticism is viewed as insolence and you need to get out of my sight. Because I've worked many jobs, I've had lots of bosses, and the best bosses, the best leaders are the ones who not only know how to lead, go figure, not only know how to lead their crew to getting the result that they need, but who also are open to collaboration and open to working with their team, not as a dictator, but as a leader of the team to, accomplish whatever the goal is. So that's where that director is lacking. And then as far as the village elders go, yeah, acting like children. Because like, I get it, something happened. There was some scam that got run on them in the village years and years ago, back when Jiwoo's parents were still alive, and I guess they had something to do with it. They brought whoever the scammer was to the village. I think there were cameras or something. I'm piecing things together. There's some sort of scam that went down, and lots of money got stolen. And Jiwoo's family, I guess, worked until their dying day to try and pay back the village. But the village has had this grudge ever since, and like, I understand being upset about something like that, because it's a very serious thing. But at the end of the day, even if Jiwoo's parents were like to blame, like they were working with this con artist to blah 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 blah, which that doesn't seem to be the case from just little bits and pieces of what I'm hearing. But even if that were the case, they're dead. They're gone. They're not coming back. They have no bearing on your life right now anymore. The situation is dead and gone. So why are we still holding this grudge against these dead people who can't do anything about it? Like, why? Why are we holding this grudge against their son who had absolutely not a goddamn thing to do with it? Wasn't involved in the slightest. He was a kid when they died. Like, why are we treating him like some sort of pariah for something that he didn't do? For something that his parents were involved in some way, shape, or form, but that he didn't do. Why are we holding this grudge against him? It's petty. It's childlike. That's what children do. It's not what adults do. Adults deal with their problems and get over it. They move past it. They don't hold grudges for generations upon generations, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that shit. That's child shit. So when she got up there and was like telling them off, and they're like, you don't know anything about this, you don't know the details, and she kept going. I'm like, you know what? Keep laying in even harder, because they are thick-headed. Sometimes old people just think they're right. They think they're right all the time, and they need to be told about themselves. And you need to go in on them hard, because they don't want to listen. They are stubborn. They're set in their ways, and they just think that they're right. So, do I think that her speech made an impact on them? Some of them, maybe. All of them? Absolutely not. Because again, sometimes old people are just stuck in their ways, and they just think they're right. But yes, absolutely feel like that speech should have happened sooner. But us as the audience didn't know about the whys when it came to the villagers and their treatment, or mistreatment, I should say, of Jiwoo. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. We saw where Sejun's condition is starting to resurface. Again, I don't know if that condition is what the medication he was on that he's no longer taking was for, or if that medication was for something else. But the condition is starting to resurface, which is concerning. And we saw Jiwoo's reaction when she showed him the phone, and that was part of the headline. Like, is his illness resurfacing? Blah 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 blah. And it's like, I don't want you to blame yourself for this. Yes, the breakup and the, you know, what happened between you and he played some bearing on his mental state and probably had some bearing on this condition resurfacing. But am I gonna go and say it's Jiwoo's fault? No, because again, like I said in past episodes, I understand where Jiwoo is coming from, and while I don't agree with his methods, I understand his desire to no longer be in the relationship, even though he does care, even though I do believe he does love Sejun. I understand his reasons for not wanting to be in the relationship, at least at that moment in time. So the heart wants what it wants, and I don't think you can blame him for not feeling like wanting to stay in a relationship. You shouldn't feel like you have to be in a relationship with somebody. You should want to be in a relationship with somebody. You should love the person. It should be an enjoyable experience. You shouldn't feel like it's an obligation to be in a relationship. So I understand his not wanting to feel obligated to be in a relationship. And I don't think that we can say that because he didn't want to be in this relationship, he is at fault and he is responsible for Sejun's medical condition. But I can see how Jiwoo could do those mental gymnastics and make that connection and say, oh, well, shit, I caused this. And that I don't want that to happen. So, yeah, lots of things happen in this episode. Lots of feels, lots of emotions, and yeah, just lots and lots. They really know how to just make you feel things in this episode, don't they? Well, we've got 3 episodes left. Part of me wants to jump to the next episode, but also it's almost time for Synergic's subathon 24-hour thing, so I might just have to call it a night for this recording session and come back and do the next episode in a few days. Or maybe I'll be late to Synergic's thing. We'll see. No. I don't know. You guys will be able to tell by whatever I'm wearing in my reactions next episode. So either way, hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications to be notified when all of my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. Mwah. And before you guys go, a shout out to my amazing patrons. I can't begin to express how thankful I am for your support. And if you guys would like to join us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. I love you guys.